come out here to have a look at the rust situation on the bulkhead and on the chassis. Starting here on this top corner of the bulkhead, you can see here this plate screwed on here. Obviously there's a bloody hole under there, so the screws want grinding off or unscrewing even. Take that off, weld a little plate in there. But down this side here, I have noticed here, look, a lump of filler which I just peeled off. Big dent in there. Although there's no rust, it's been filled with filler. But I suppose you could weld a plate on there, skim it off, or fill it with filler again. I mean, it's solid enough. I don't know what's dented into that. But even as you go further down this side here, there's another hole down the bottom here, which has been filled with obviously the same filler. So it's going to want a little bit of a plate there. Where are we? Round the other side, yeah, across the top, the window frame, bottom of the window frame. That looks all right. Looks a bit odd with all the flaky paint, different coloured paints there, but I can't see any holes. But there is down the other side. Wants a bit of welding around the bulkhead here. Typical for the Land Rover. This is, around the door frame. You can see down the bottom there the frame and the door, that wants sorting, but you can get a whole section of this right up, to weld right on. I'm sure you know that anyway, but yeah, there's a hole there, bit of a crack there, and a hole around the front there, you can see there, little one up there as well. Yeah, but other than that, the top half of the bulkhead and everything is okay. I'll have a quick look under the bonnet. Just move this bin out of the way. Under the bonnet, yeah, the heater box, that's fell apart. Wants a new heater box. Looking at the bulkhead from this side, everything looks solid. Now then, the engine runs. Turbo's good. Only a tiny little whisper of feel in the turbo. It spins up nicely, The engine ran nice. I got it started about a year ago now. Not got it started since. But the clutch is stuck to the flywheel. Although the clutch has got feel in it, in the pressure, so I've not actually took the cap off to see if there's any fluid in there, but you can feel something going on. So the gearbox wants to come off and free the clutch off, but to be honest, the whole vehicle wants stripping down really, and having a proper look at and then putting back together. The brakes were all rebuilt, although the fluid level is low there. The brakes were all done by Bill Havelock of North Hansford before, and Lamport Railway. Yeah, he done all the brakes. They are 6-pot brakes, because this originally was a 6-pot. Engine obviously has been changed, but when Bill done the brakes, he ordered all new shoes for a 4-pot, and when he finally took them apart and got under there, he found that they were 6-pot, so he had to reorder everything. How far he went with the brakes, I don't know. With new cylinders, etc. I don't know with that. You'd have to talk to Bill. But looking at the chassis now, in there is a bit dark. I've got my torch here. Hang on. Yeah, the front end, if I can get that to light up. Anyway, the front end of the chassis there seems to be fine. It's not flaking through. Obviously there's surface rust on it. Same this side here. I can't feel anything, any holes in the front there or nothing. The chassis, I did crawl under it a while back now, when I first got it home. which was a year or so ago now. I'm just crawling underneath because I did notice there was a rusty bit. Ah, yeah, there we are. The end of that outrigger there, look. But the rest of it, as you can see, I'll get the torch out of the way, it is very straight and tidy. Leaks from the gearbox. Same the other side over there, look, the chassis. It has got a really nice chassis on it, although with sitting, obviously you know this rust has come about here, but you see the spring hangers, they're both fine either side. See that with a torch over there. The chassis was all painted green by the old boy that had it before, Bill. Even this one here, it's gone a bit flaky a bit here, look. But it's all solid. It is just flaky rust, you know what I mean? What it really wants is to go over it with a big hammer, find all the soft spots. But I can't see that there are any, to be fair. Let's have a look under it. There's a hole under there, look, on this outrigger. Although that outrigger here looks lovely, there is a hole there, so there's obviously damp sat there. I mean, this had been sat and, well, sort of moved around for 19 years up at the railway. It's a bit of a job to get to the other side without me crawling all over the floor. But I can't see there being any anything worse than, you know, this hole here on the outriggers and that. The main bulk of the chassis looks absolutely fine. So a little bit of welding on that. The back end's a bit awkward to get to. Let me see if I can get round there at the back. Oh, blimey, crawling around on the floor at my age now isn't the done thing. Oh, crikey, getting up again. The tyres are obviously very old. I mean, they hold air, they blow up. Saying that, this one don't look too bad. There is cracking on them though, you know what I mean? Cracking has started with them. Yeah, the rear cross member, that looks fine. So I've got a quick look underneath. Pop there. Yeah, from what I can see there, it's a rear tank as well. Yeah, all of these. That all looks solid. Yeah, it's a rear tank. I didn't put any fuel in the tank because I would rather have cleaned it out first, because it hasn't had anything in it for years. So it really wanted to clean out. Looking under there. It's a bit awkward to get to the other side because I've got it parked up against my wall, my garden wall, you know, my rear garden. So it's a bit of a job to get to anything. But your best bet really is to come down here and have a look at it. Now, bulkhead wise, apart from the frames, the door frames, you know, where the door hangers are, this is the floor, driver's side. No nasties there, floor looks good. Obviously wants a bit of bashing about over there, looks a bit rusty, but I think that looks like it's had a plate put in there. Maybe the same the other side. Let's try and get that focused in there. Yeah, the bulkhead is, looking at it, it's quite reasonable. The dashboard is a load of shite. It's had all the covering taken off it and an attempt on the top there, look, to make up, you know, a leather covering, but it's basically all there but wants rebodging up really to your liking, or, you know, a bit of dash sourcing and fitting. I can sort some seats out. Not sure about these covers. If I've got any, you can have them. And I think I've got some floor up in the top shed. as well. But my plan was really to get it running, get the gearbox off, free the clutch up, so that you could and have a look at the brakes, so you could actually drive it up and down the street. You know what I mean? That way, I was going to sell it, and then obviously the price would go up. The roof looks fucking terrible. All the paint is peeling off. What they've painted it looks like household gloss. So a massive good jet washing in there, and some insulation gluing on to it or something, you know what I mean? Or change the roof altogether to a tilt, you know, but I don't know. I think the whole thing really wants a good strip out, have a look, see what's what. It's basically solid. That's the reason I bought it. The doors have been bodged a bit. I think you can see on the top of that door there. I can get a bit better light on there. Hang on. What's up with this torch? There's a bit of light better. You see the top bit over the door, where the window joins the door. They've put a metal plate there and pop riveted it on. Probably because the windows were flapping around on the door. You can bet your bottom dollar that was the same here. Look, see this blue plastic aluminium bloody strip thing there. That all once could do with a new door top, or two door tops, I think. I think your best bet really is to come over and have a bloody good look at it. I mean, no way is it totally original in any way. It has been sort of farted around with, you know, at some point. Bodywork outside ain't too bad, apart from I'm not that happy with this side on the rear, which you can't get anymore. Looks like down here, I think it's had a bit of filler or something repaired there, because there's a bit of a crack here, look. There. Something's been bunged in there. But I think there's a new sheet of metal fabricated up. You know what I mean? Pop riveted in. It's a Land Rover, isn't it? Sally panels. So just pop rivet a new bit in. And looking at that outrigger there, that's looking alright from the top. Yeah, I think hole wise, you know, basically it's a solid, quite solid chassis, and you're going to find a few little holes in it here and there, you know, from where it's been sat. I was told by the lady who I got it off, where her husband had died, but it was a new chassis about 19 years ago. But of course it's been sat in a field, isn't it? At the moment we've got the local cat coming in and sits in that driver's seat in there, and my wife crocheted a blanket for him to you see the blanket in there, yeah, just so the old pussy cat can keep himself warm while he's just cozying up in there. He comes up through the floor, see. But yeah, like I said, your best bet is come and have a look at it, and maybe then you can turn it into a beastie that looks like this one here. My old beast, you'll recognise that.